Hello, Reading Masters. In this series at a glance, I'll be going over the Scythe series. I recently read the series and really liked it, so stick around to figure out why. So, the main characters of the Arc of a Scythe series are Citra Terranova, also known as Scythe Anastasia during the later two books, Rowan Demish, Scythe Curie, Scythe Faraday, and Scythe Goddard as the antagonist. So, a bit of the basic plot is that this book series takes place around 100,000 ish years into the future, where humanity has solved mortality and pretty much become immortal. So obviously that posed some population threats. So this almost new race of people was created called the Scythedom, where scythes selected for their personality uh, sort of glean or permanently kill by law humans so that other people around the world so that the population can stay in check. Now, it's not, a community where it's like, oh, you come to this place to die. It's just they go around gleaning people sort of unsuspectingly. It could happen at any time. You can't do anything to sort of avoid it once you're chosen. So, Citra Terranova gets chosen by Michael Faraday along with Rowan Demish. And this is the first time that two Scythe apprentices have been chosen at once. So obviously that poses some new difficulties. And eventually, Citra wins in, a strange way. And um, Scythe Goddard is sort of part of this new group of scythes who sort of gleans not for the betterment of humanity, but for satisfaction, and they enjoy gleaning, which is against some of the rules of the scythedom. So, that poses some threats throughout the entire series, and it gets to the point where he's murdering, he's gleaning entire, cities of people and entire um, groups of this religion called Tonists. They, um, they, the religion is sort of, worshiping a tone. I think it was A flat or G sharp, and that's sort of the major question of the religion is it A flat or is it G sharp? So they're sort of ridiculed by all of, humanity in general. So obviously the Scythes despise them as well because the Tonists, hate Scythes and they want to keep things natural. So they hate Scythes and, you know, are known to attack Scythes. So the Scythes obviously, try to stay away from them and hate them, but they can't glean them, freely because that shows bias, which is also against the rules of the Scythedom. So Goddard is just, slaying and gleaning groups and hordes of Tonists. So Citra and Rowan sort of try to stop Goddard throughout the books, and Goddard does some like questionable things throughout the series. And yeah, there's some interesting turns throughout the series. In the end, the way that they solve it is really, really interesting. I think it's new and sort of hasn't been thought of before. I mean, I've read other books that sort of have an ending like it, but I think the ending is sort of a new and interesting, advancement on sort of books because I think it's never really been done before. So make sure you read the entire series to find out what the ending is. It's really interesting. I think the series, I give it a 4.5 out of 5 stars just because it's a little awkward at times, but I think it should deserve a 5 out of 5. It's just it was hard to find the books at like bookstores and stuff. I think it should be a little more popular, and it did end up getting not a little drawn out, but in some parts it was like, okay, when's the action gonna kick in here? I think there were some interesting plans and plots throughout the whole book. Um, not really anything, ingenious, like, whoa, I never thought of that. But throughout the book, it is really interesting what happens. So, yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars. Make sure you check out the series whenever you can. It's a 3-book series. I don't know if it has any offshoots. I don't think it does. I don't think it has any sequels or prequels either. Um, oh, yeah, one more thing I should mention about the series is that there is this sort of AI who controls the world in a good way called the Thunderhead. That's what it's called by humanity. So it's sort of conscious in a way. And throughout the third book, you get to see sort of logs of its consciousness and sort of notes from the Thunderhead, which I think is interesting to see, you know, what it's thinking throughout the series. And sometimes it mentions stuff that has already happened or will happen. And I'm like, oh, is that gonna happen next? And it happens. And I'm like, whoa, that's insane. Or I'm like, that's strange. What is that? Why did the Thunderhead mention that? And then in the next chapter, that thing that I mentioned happens, and I'm like, oh my god, that's that's crazy. So I think it's a very well thought out series. I think that um, I think that it's very new and interesting to read. It's not bad in really any way. I very, very strongly recommend it. No buts. Just, buy it, read it. Please, please enjoy it. It's an amazing series. I think it deserves to be loved. Um, so pick this up whenever you can at your nearest bookstore, or it's on Kindle and the Amazon store. So pick it up, read it whenever you can. Thanks for watching this video. Like and subscribe. See you in the next one.